and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar. Today is a Friday. That means we're doing Gamers Health. With me, as usual, is my lovely wife, Rachel.
Hello.
And with us today is none other than Joe the Lawyer. Joe is somebody I've known for years because of this wonderful hobby we all share. Joe, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me here. This is fun, guys. This is a little different than what we usually do, right? I mean,
usually it's a trip to the complete and lunch at a bar. Sadly, with COVID, I don't think that's happening for a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to a bar for a couple of years at least, probably. The hell with the bar scene. It's funny how much money you save when you're not going to the bar, which I'm then promptly blow on RPG books that I want to fill in my collection.
And it's funny that you mention that because, like I used to do lunch at the pub 4 days a week, easy. Yeah. And now that money that I was spending on that is I'm finding low carb pasta and low carb bagels and low carb
cinnamon rolls
and cookies. It's a premium you pay for the stuff that's not going to impact your glucose levels. But when you're not spending $25, $30 on lunch, it suddenly becomes affordable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It squeaks out of your wallet really quickly. You don't even notice it, and then all of a sudden it's like, where does 200 come from? I don't know. Oh, the bar. And then it's like, well, $200. Let's look on Noble Night and see what.
Well, the infamous shopping. I was talking with Pex earlier today, and he ordered he gave me a list of Blu-rays that he ordered, and it must have been close to 50.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he got them from a discount place, but still, oh my God.
Jesus.
But yeah, when you can't go out, when you can't spend your money on, I guess food and booze, you will spend it a bit more healthy.
Yeah. It's funny to do
when
this
we do go out, it's a lot more healthy.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Rachel. What was that?
Yeah, even when we do go out, it's a lot more healthy. Like the amount that we would spend on alcohol.
Yeah.
Hey, we do save a lot, so
absolutely.
So I'll have one drink, if I even have one drink anymore. With our salads, we don't really do the appetizer.
Yep, I know.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing with COVID. When it hit, I was home for months, and work from home, and it's like, wow, I have time to do things I never did before, like cook real food, right? Because I'm not going out, I'm not eating out, so I'm stocking up for a couple of weeks worth of food, vegetables, things like that. I'm like, well, what can I do? What can I make? So I'm looking at recipes, and I bought a wok, and I'm making stir fry. It's like, look at this shit.
I bought a wok in the midst of all this too. That was one of my. I was like, Rach, I really want a wok. She's like, really?
We have 3 of them.
No, I need a new, and I use the wok, and I do stir fries. I've gotten to the point now because of COVID that I put together meals without looking at the recipes. If I'm doing from scratch, I just
nice.
It's like I'm gonna let's do pasta with some mixed vegetables, and let me what marinades do I have here, and what spices can I throw in? We want chicken or ground beef going there. Rach doesn't really eat steak unless I sneak it into a meal.
Yeah.
So I gotta do chili this weekend.
I've been cutting back on that. I've been cutting back on the meat. I'm I might have some sausage if it's in something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I'm cutting back on so much meat is processed like ham or something like that has salt in it. I'm trying to cut back on that. High blood pressure, right? So it's you just try to do whatever you can as little as a little bit at a time, right? That's the main thing.
And if we do have bacon, we'll have turkey bacon.
Right, or I get uncured bacon. I've done the uncured bacon. We do have turkey bacon I can use. I've been finding Jimmy Dean makes turkey sausage patties. And if you look at the nutritional information, you go, oh my God, there's, 430 milligrams of sodium in a serving. But a serving is 2 patties.
Oh, all right.
So, if you were getting this as an Egg McMuffin at McDonald's, you're getting 1 patty.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So, now it's only 230. So, for breakfast, most of the time for breakfast, my little, quick way of making something that's filling and in my case, low sodium and low carb is I get the frozen peppers and onions. Like you can get them anywhere, but I've been doing Amazon Fresh because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I put a little olive oil in the pan, toss the frozen peppers and onions in the pan, start letting them heat up. Take 2 sausage patties, put them on the other side of the pan. And as the patties have browned on both sides, I take the patties out. And then I put, for the 2 of us, 2 eggs and probably about 3 servings of the egg beaters.
Okay.
So we're each getting 1 egg plus, I guess,
some egg whites.
Some egg whites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't like egg whites on their own, but I find 1 egg yolk goes pretty far, spread out amongst extra egg whites. So
yeah,
and then a thin slice of cheddar cheese. Sargento makes these extra thin slices that are only 40 calories.
Okay.
A slice.
Okay.
And salsa. I've been using the Amazon Happy Belly salsa because that's what's. But you just gotta look. In my case, look at the sodium. I check the sodium because you always know it's gonna be low in carbs. They don't put much. Usually, they don't sweeten it, but usually you gotta watch out for the sodium.
Mm-hmm.
But you can find ones that are fairly low in sodium because that salsa just pops the eggs. I like to eat, and if I feel like I'm spoiling myself, I don't need to eat a lot. Mm-hmm. But if I feel like I'm depriving myself, I'll finish the food and want to go back for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're right. I like to have a full feeling when I'm done. That's why I've been doing a lot more salads. Like when I started going back to when I was doing it at home, I was, cooking and everything was pretty good.
Right.
And exercising, I got an exercise bike and I got a little weight set. So I've been doing that.
Nice.
Then I'm like, I just got to keep this up when I go back. I know that, the day was looming. And so I've been back now for a few weeks. And I got to say, it's been hard because I didn't realize how hard it would be to shift from sleeping a little later, getting up a lot earlier, and not doing exercise for the first hour or so of the morning, right?
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And I've never been a real breakfast person anyway. So I just skip breakfast all the time anyhow. But what I would be doing in the past is I grab my coffee into McDonald's or whatever the hell's on the way to work. Now I'm just skipping the McDonald's or whatever the hell's, right? And I'll have a salad for lunch and usually a salad and something else for dinner. But it's interesting because meditation has helped me a lot to keep myself in sort of a grounded state, right? That's a big thing. Yeah, I'm doing that every day. That's the one thing I definitely do. And then getting home from work, I volunteer for a local campaign. So the first thing I got to do is get on phones for an hour and a half. By the time I'm done with that, it's almost 8:00. I was like, all right, I got some dinner. And, so I can't wait till campaign season's over. It's been difficult to keep myself on sort of a schedule, but when this is over, I'm going to be able to get home and do a regular, eat at 6:30 or something like that rather than 8:30.
It's the whole thing of getting a routine now. And like, again, you're saying that you skip breakfast, and I used to skip breakfast. And even as a cop, when I was out on patrol, breakfast, you worried about your lunch or your dinner, but breakfast was, if you could slip the time in to grab something from somewhere, you ate it. But if you couldn't, you couldn't.
Yeah.
But even a small breakfast, and if that's, a small bowl of cereal or half a bagel, it kicks your metabolism up.
Mm-hmm.
It actually wakes your system up, so you start burning the calories. Otherwise, your body's still in like this starvation mode because it hasn't realize it has food. Mm-hmm. You don't need to eat a lot, and I know some people think coffee does it, but I even a banana. And for some people that like to eat a lot at breakfast, a banana is what I used to take in the academy because it would be like, all right, you had to get to work. You work at 7:15, and by 7:25, they're going to have you running 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
Yeah.
You have to have something.
But you don't want anything that's going to make you throw up. So I
very light.
I bring a banana in my bag.
Which is a good idea for the fruit, so it's not going bad in your system and you metabolize it.
And bananas were tended to be help me with my shin splints at the time. They were good for that. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know what I've noticed that people always tell me, because I get leg cramps. This is a weird thing for me, and it's in my father gets them. I mean, we all get leg cramps for some reason. It's like the kind that you're up at 3 a.m, jumping out of bed from a deep sleep in agony, screaming, holding your leg, and everyone in the house is like, oh my God, someone shot him in the head. You know what's going on? So and they used to last for like 15, 20, 25 minutes sometimes until you straighten it out. Now I did a little research on this, and couple weird little things in terms of health advice. Basically, what's going on? People say, "Oh, just have a banana, have more potassium." You need a little more than that. What I found is if you take, it's basically an electrolyte pills, right? I have a certain brand that I found that works for me, and then you take a magnesium pill. Because electrolytes plus magnesium work together. You need the magnesium to work with the electrolytes, right?
Really?
Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing thing. I don't get them anymore. But I do still keep, you could buy these little things off of Amazon, these little pickle juice flasks. They're like 5 ounces. They're like an energy drink, like a 5-ounce energy drink.
I
pickle juice.
I used to do that, and then when I had my heart failure, Rach threw them all out on me, or gave them away, or did something like that. I don't know. Probably
the sodium.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just keep them as an emergency, just in case. I got them in my desk drawer at work, in my bag, my car. Because nothing worse than driving a car a long distance and your leg cramps up and you can't keep driving anymore. So I always keep 5 or 6 in the car, but I don't need them anymore. I'm throwing them out because they're expiring, because this little weird little leg solution works. Yeah, electrolyte pills and magnesium pills. You just got to find the ones that work for you. And
you need the nutrients. It's a deficiency.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And if you're not getting them through your diet, this helps you to boost them up. But for a while, I was just taking electrolytes and they weren't working as well. And then someone said, no, you need the magnesium to make them work together well. So I'm like, wow. It's an amazing thing. I told my father about it. He hasn't had cramps in a couple months. He's the same way as I was. So little free advice there.
My calves are still tight as heck. They're not as bad as they were when I was carrying around the extra weight. I mean, I'm not talking about the extra like 60 pounds of water weight that I was carrying, but the fact that I've lost probably 25, 30 pounds since I was hospitalized with the heart failure.
Yeah.
I can feel a difference with my lower back and my calves. I mean, my shoulder is what it is, my left shoulder. I still have to ask Rach to work on that every once in a while, but I haven't asked for calf work in a while. They're still tight, but they don't spasm up like they used to.
Yeah, they don't lock. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, are you doing yoga? I mean, I know Rach is doing yoga.
I am not doing yoga. I am nowhere near as flexible as Rach, and I think if I can lose another 15 pounds or so, my lower back might allow me to hit certain poses that I couldn't even get close to.
Yes, maybe we start gentle, with very gentle poses, even if they're just like some of the ones on the floor.
Can you do yoga from a seat?
You can totally do chair yoga.
Okay, chair yoga I might go for, because it sounds like it's gonna be a lot less stress on my back.
Yeah, I mean they do it like with people also like in hospital beds. It's just where you start wherever the person is, kind of like social work. So like for a lot of the chair ones, like the chair is a prop that gives much more stability, but also you get the same benefit of the pose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
See, Joe,
plenty of assists.
You gave Rach an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guinea pig. If you see this on like a YouTube video at some point.
My test subject, no.
Guinea pig. I learned a new trick. Eric, come here.
Eric Tenkar does chair yoga.
Assume the position, Eric.
Still have his leg behind in no time.
I don't think so. I'll be lucky to have my leg.
I don't.
A leg behind my leg.
I think most of us don't.
I can't even cross my legs. Jesus Christ. It's been many years since I've been able to do that, but yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? With the weight, as you lose weight, you notice that you can do more postures and do different things with your body, and that it your body lets you do a lot of other different things, and so
Yeah, I'm noticing just little things like stairs. I mean, I'm happy. Just I lost 30 pounds in about 4 months, and just be
Nice.
a little exercise, a little healthier eating, things like that. And really, what really helped me, which is another reason I kind of skip breakfast, is intermittent fasting. I would just have an 8-hour window, of food, and everything else I wouldn't eat unless it was during that 8-hour window, and that helped a lot. And helped control my and also I cut back, believe it or not, for me, a ton on drinking and the weed too. And it's funny that if you're not smoking weed at midnight, you're not ordering Domino's pizza at midnight either. It's just it's a big difference.
I was having 3 or 4 pints Bud Light, but I mean it adds up with lunch. That's at 4 or 5 days a week. Now I'm having a pint of I guess a local craft brew, a single pint, and the carb intake is less, the calorie intake is less.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. You play all the games in your head, like, oh, if I just do straight rum or vodka, and I skip the soda, or if I have Diet Coke, or mix it with seltzer water instead of the Coke. It's like, dude, you know what? Just stop the drinking, and you won't have the need to even play those fucking games.
Right.
There you go.
So yeah. Oh, can you say fucking on this? Or are we still? I know this is.
No,
all right. All right.
You know what? Listen, Big Brother over at the Tube of You has not flagged any of my stuff for adult language yet, but
Okay. All right. Cool. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I was trying to think about the YouTube thing. I was thinking this is in terms of a different podcast.
Listen. You've read the review for the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like listening to NPR.
Oh, okay.
Until the F-bombs start dropping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. But even I've seen on YouTube now, people are swearing a lot more on videos and getting away with it. I think it's if you don't swear at the initial with 5 minutes, you don't get nailed on that. That's
maybe it's also too like the way that we handle or the way that I handle swearing in group. Like if you're calling somebody an F-bomb, if you're using it in an abusive way, then we don't use it.
Yeah,
you don't get to be there. Or there are certain times where you will curse about a situation and that just flies over. They'll say, I'm sorry about my language. No worries.
Yeah.
You see, you were just using it about a situation.
Well, now, do you remember there was a video on YouTube years ago
for somebody?
No. Mm-hmm. And it was how the word fuck is the most flexible word in the English language. Because it can be used as a noun, an adverb, as a verb, as a preposition. It has all this. And it's got somebody with a very proper way of speaking, explaining this to you. So that's why when I used to train, give a training to our civilian counterparts at the Civilian Complaint Review Board. And I used to, and one of the things that they would oversee from the NYPD was complaints of abusive or foul language. I would explain to them that they are now city employees, they are civil servants, and as such, they are going to find themselves in a situation that I found myself in. And it's a quick story, but I remember, honest to God, I'm probably a cop in the South Bronx for like 6 months. So between the academy time and time in the streets, about a year and 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I have dinner with my parents, and my mother goes, "We don't use that language at the dinner table." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She goes, "That." I go,
"I say this every day, every night.
No, I was like, so she's like, "What? Why do you have to use that word? What fucking word are you talking about?" She goes, "That word." I go, "Mom, stop fucking with me. Tell me what the fuck you mean." And she's like, "Oh my God, why are you saying the F word?" I go, "What, fuck?"
She's like, "You are really trying to take me there. What is your problem?"
She's like, "Yes, why are you saying fuck?" I go, "I don't know." Because once you get into, and this probably applies to a lot of professions, but once you get into certain professions, it is used like, holy fuck, what the
Oh,
fuck? Are you a fuck? And it's like, it just becomes, it's the spice of language.
Yeah,
So I gave that as part of my class to tell these people, listen, take the context in which the word is being used. Were they exclaiming, oh my God, what the fuck just happened? Or listen, you dumb fuck.
Yeah.
It's different uses of the word, different meanings.
Right. Like any word, there's different intentions.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's not.
When you call somebody a fuck, it's hard to back out of.
Yeah. Let's not go to the word that
I can't stand this fucking shit. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just avoid the C word, because that's gotten me into trouble in the past. But you can say it because you're a woman and Irish.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're Irish American. You can drop
I'm
that.
trying to behave myself.
Okay.
Well, we're going to give the YouTube fuck test filter a good run for its money here today. See how it works.
We know that this guy, Eric Tenkar, was trying to increase his subscribership, but we suspended his channel for the abusive use of the F-bomb and insinuating the C word.
It was said 30 times through the course of a 10-minute video.
I can't believe it's not butter.
That's funny. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm glad you're doing a YouTube more. So I was texting the other day about that. I think it's a great platform. You're going to do well. You know, I think you're making a lot of money on that thing too. Because I mean, like I say, look at the other. Is it the Greyhawk Ragnar? Was it who has like a couple hundred people and he's only been out for a month?
Yeah, he's got 200 followers. That's pretty good. And here's the thing. The way I'm looking at it is, we have the blog, we have the podcast, and now we're adding in YouTube. And they all do a little bit different things. There's an overlap, certainly. There's stuff that I'll discuss on the blog that'll come up on the podcast. And the podcast episodes are still going to get shared out over on the YouTube side.
Yep.
And there are some of the podcast episodes I'm going to record live and live stream them on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously, so people can comment. I did an episode earlier. It wasn't for the podcast, but that was the Games from the Basement, and I was talking about starships and spacemen.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep, I threw a comment out at you.
Yeah. So that works with the video. I don't think that would work to the audio. I don't think that would work for me to upload that to this podcast.
Good point, because you're reviewing a physical product.
So if you're a fan of the podcast and you want more of the podcast, you'll have to go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Eric Tenkar. That I was able to do at 100 subscribers. I was actually able to, not have my channel be a bunch of random letters and numbers. Yeah.
No, that's good. I think that eventually it's going to grow. It's going to blow up, man, because you're broad enough. I mean, the Greyhawk Ragnar, 200 people. He talks about fucking Greyhawk. That's all he talks about is Greyhawk. I mean, that's a narrow slice of the pie there,
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he might just talk about Greyhawk, but Joe is a fucking expert on Greyhawk. I mean, God bless the man. If they decide to bring Greyhawk back, I think he's the person they're gonna have to bring in as a consultant, because he knows the history. He knows the history of the setting, and he knows the in-game setting history, which I certainly don't.
Yeah, but, he's like the Rob Connolly is for the Wilderlands. That's Joe for Greyhawk. Yeah. It's an amazing font of knowledge that he has. It's something else. I love to hear him talk about it, because it's like it was my first D&D setting, like a lot of people, right? And so it's just amazing to hear it, Anyway, we're veering off into D&D like we always do. So,
podcast, right? Veering off is fine, Joe. I mean,
but somebody will really love that. Many will really love that.
Thank God they talked about gaming on a gaming podcast. Holy fuck! Yeah, we're gonna have.
We have to make something. We have to put something in there to keep them coming back to hear all this health stuff.
But like I was saying to you before we jumped into the podcast, my congestive heart failure doc. God bless him. This man. If I send a message to him via the health app, he answers within an hour, sometimes quicker than that. He's on top of things. He actually called me early on when he put me on new meds, because nobody in the office gave me a coupon for my first, because they're expensive meds.
Yeah.
He called me up and I was like, Doc, listen, my health and my prescription plan actually is covering most of it. He goes, all right. I just wanted to make sure. I was like, he called, not his nurse, not a receptionist.
Wow.
He called.
He's in it. That's great.
That's amazing.
He's in it. So we were talking, and I didn't mention this part. So he's looking at my history on a computer screen, and he goes, "Oh, I'm going to show you something really cool." He goes, "I can look at how much weight you've lost from when I first met you." And he pulls it up. He goes, "And we can go back even further." And he goes, "It's all blank before May." I'm like, "Doc, I've only known you since this May." He's like, "Really? I feel like I've known you for longer than that." I'm like, "No." He goes, "Well, it's still an impressive weight loss." I'm like, 60 pounds was water that my heart couldn't push out initially. So yes, but
still, you did a lot on your own, even beyond the water, even beyond the pissing it off, man.
Yeah,
you did a lot.
Yeah.
No, as he told me, he said probably the best thing that happened to me was actually having pneumonia and sepsis back in March, because that brought on a congestive heart failure. My body couldn't push out the water. He goes, and the reason for that is that your heart damage is old. It's all from chemo and radiation. And if you hadn't had that congestive heart failure, you might have had straight out heart failure. And he goes, when we say heart failure in the medical profession, we mean you went to bed and you never woke up.
Jesus Christ.
He goes, it's not a heart attack. He goes, I go, like a heart attack? He goes, no, a heart attack you got a chance with. Heart attack, you feel it. Oh my God, you're in pain. You call 911, you get an ambulance, you got a chance. He goes, heart failure is your heart just goes kaput. You're done. He goes, now you're out of that danger. I go, and you wouldn't have known if you hadn't had the heart failure. He goes, you wouldn't have known about your block carotid if you hadn't passed out from dehydration and low blood pressure. So, and that's what I said. I told you, he pointed up at the ceiling. And he looked up. He goes, somebody up there. He goes, says, I don't know if you believe, because somebody up there has plans for you. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're supposed to inspire people. So I knew that in the hospital, kind of. You get that weird thing, like, I lived through all this shit.
Yeah.
That's why I do this. Podcast, because I find it important to share my experiences. Listen, none of us here are perfectly healthy.
No.
And as gamers, we often have unhealthy habits of eating and drinking lots of Dr. Pepper and Gatorade and Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah,
and Doritos, yes, and cool
Doritos.
Cool Ranch Doritos,
Cool Ranch and French onion dip. Holy shit!
Yeah.
I never ate that together.
Don't start. It's like crack.
Just so you know, do you like those onion rings, like the Funyuns?
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay.
Or cheese doodles.
Funnies are too salty now. They burn.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's funny when I cut back on salt. I have anything salty now. It affects me. So I generally aren't hitting the chips that much anymore.
Well, here's the thing: like Cheetos, you can find them on Amazon. They're not too high in sodium. They're not as sodiumized as normal chips and all that stuff.
Yep.
And they're like one carb, because they use pea flour.
They're like chickpeas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you wouldn't know. But it's like having the crunchy cheese doodles or the Funyuns, and you're like,
it's a better Funyun because it won't burn your mouth.
Yeah,
away.
It's not as high.
That
sodium,
salt,
right?
The last several times I had them, Funyuns, they burned my mouth so bad that I never wanted them again.
So
it really affects me. I feel it now when I have too much salt. So I'm like, it's not worth it. Why bother?
I mean, listen, I before I buy anything, like I'm shopping for stuff on Amazon Fresh, and if I haven't bought it in the past, I'm already going, all right, initially, what's the sodium content? All right, that's okay. Then what's the carb content? And how much of that is like added sugars?
Yeah. Yep.
If it's a lot of fiber, that's okay. But if it's a lot of added sugars, it's not okay. And that's, I'm not saying that that's something that everybody needs to do, but I think we all need to. Even when I was, quote, healthy, I should have been eating healthier. You don't want your wake-up call to be congestive heart failure. Is what I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely not. You got to watch out for the carbs too. As a guy who did low carb diets for a long time, years and years ago, before they became a fad, I guess, before they became a thing, is it used to be that low carb food tasted like ass. It was terrible, right? But it was low carb, and that's how you knew it was low carb, because it tastes like ass. So then around 02, 04, the FDA came out and said that we are no longer monitoring carb counts in any food. We're leaving it to their honesty. And after that, all the shit that tasted like ass now tasted good. And all of a sudden, people weren't losing weight anymore in low carb diets. And then they went out of style. And the sugar industry celebrated because they got their money back, right?
Right.
Anyway, then they came out with this new thing called net carbs. Net carbs is a big fraudulent thing because it only affects. It's a metric of how it affects insulin levels for diabetics, but it's not a true effect in carbs in terms of a low carb ketosis diet,
Right. If you want to go into ketosis, net carbs doesn't help. If you're trying to do like an Atkins diet,
you have to be under like what was it? The 10, induction 10 milligrams, 10 grams of carbs a day.
Yeah, and then after a week or two, you could up it to like 20.
Yeah. But net carbs aren't how you count that, though. If you're going to do it for induction purposes,
if you're somebody who is like me, a type 2 diabetic,
yes,
I'm not trying to go into ketosis. I'm just trying to keep my insulin levels stabilized. I can get from Catalina Crunch. I can get Oreo type cookies that I can have 2 cookies and I can say, all right, my feeding where I would eat a half box of Oreos in one sitting has been cured and no longer feeding, and my net carbs are like 4 net carbs. It's not going to, shock my system with excess sugar carbs.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Whole different story. Ketosis. If you went to ketosis diabetic, that's dangerous as hell for you.
Yeah,
you don't want to go there, but you do want to keep your sugars low. So that's where net carbs that does matter. But a lot of people who are doing Atkins or keto diets, they think that's a real thing, and it blows their diet for them. And they don't know why. So that's
if you're doing the Atkins diet or a ketosis type of diet, a good substitute for pasta is things like Miracle Noodle.
Oh, what? Say it again 3 times fast.
Miracle Noodle.
Oh, Miracle Noodle. Okay.
Miracle Noodle, and it's something that you can get from Amazon. And what it is, it's the root. It's a root vegetable that's cut to be like noodles, but it's got effectively like 1 carb per serving, like 9 or 10 calories a serving, because it's something your body does not digest.
Wow, interesting.
It passes it through. So I find personally that 1 serving, if you're making if that serves your spaghetti, you probably are going to need 2 servings. It's one of those things that it's not cheap.
Yeah.
But it certainly, if you're not eating shit, and if you're not eating out, and you're spending, I don't know, $5 on noodles that would have been 99 cents if you were getting what was it?
The ramen.
No, not even ramen. Like the Rosani, whatever the
Ranzoni.
Getting regular noodles
Prince.
Sauce. Prince, yeah. Now you're getting something that has, and it pretty much has little to no flavor once you prepare it. And what I do is I'll make my my pasta, my sauce with I'll stir fry some chicken, and I'll start throwing some vegetables in and cut up tomatoes, and then maybe 8 ounces of tomato sauce, and let all that heat up. Spice it up with some low sodium, spice mix, maybe a little marinade. Again, low sodium in my case, and then I'll take the noodles that I prepared. I've washed them and rinsed them and heated them, and then I toss them in and I mix them up with all that flavor so they absorb it. And I don't miss my pasta. That blows my mind.
It works as a great substitute.
Wow.
It
really does.
Takes the flavors.
It's called Miracle Noodles.
Miracle Noodles. There are a couple of brands like it. I believe.
I'm writing it down.
Wait, hold my seat. Talk to Joe for a second. I'm going to go to the kitchen.
Here, I'll get it.
I got it. You talk to Joe first.
So let's talk about Eric while he's gone.
Yeah.
it's good that you guys are doing this together. That helps a lot. That I
It
could
does.
say
It
that's
does.
amazing. It's like you got
Like
a
I know
teammate in
I've
this.
been ready to do diets, and I've done them for I've had some success with them. But this is very helpful. Like I could do whatever I could do on my own and make different choices, but then it's like, it's just very helpful to have somebody else doing it with you and being able to make another choice together.
Yeah, it's a team approach, and you could reinforce and help bolster each other. That's really excellent. I mean, it's like I look for inspirational stories sometimes to keep me going. And I found one here. It's a guy. His name is he's on Instagram. You can find him. His name is Daniel Greenwolf. All right, this is Daniel Greenwolf, all one word. And this guy, he runs a local a medieval festival. He's also a performer, entertainer, magician, this and that. Anyway, he was always big guy like me for his whole life, and he lost a lot of weight. And he's been working out over COVID for a long time because he couldn't work in a lot of ways. He couldn't perform, so he's been home with his gym in his basement working out. And I'm noticing his pictures. He's like, oh, it looks thinner. He looks thinner. And he was always kind of a big guy, strong looking guy. But I knew he was really big before. So he posted a picture finally, and he says, "This is just a little blurb," and it says, "It's really hard for me to celebrate big achievements. Today, I'm literally doing so at the advice of my therapist. LOL. For the first time in my adult life, my scale read 199 pounds. I started this journey at 355 pounds in 2011.
Wow.
Since 2012, I've never been above 250. I've gone down and up. At the beginning of the apocalypse, I was 240. I decided to focus and do the work that needs to be done. It was hard. It's still hard, and it's going to be hard. I'm going to be shifting to a whole different journey now in fitness, and other people's journeys are way harder than mine. But if I could do this, I strongly believe it is possible for most anybody to do it. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. If you're not dead, you're not done. I love you all." And I thought that last line, if you're not dead, you're not done. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. That's it right there for me. And
you're not dead, you just keep fighting.
And that's what you do. You inspire people. So
there's
a couple of brands, Joe. Miracle Pasta is one, or Miracle Noodle is one. Skinny Pasta is what I have in my hand.
Okay.
It says keto and paleo friendly. 9 calories a serving. There's 2 servings in this bag, so I would say you're looking at about 18 calories.
Okay.
Now, gluten-free, sugar-free, fat-free, cholesterol-free. It has 5 grams of fiber in one serving. So
it's pretty good.
You're looking at 10 grams of fiber in 2 servings, but it's 20 calories.
Yeah, that's really good, man. And that's like I say, it doesn't dissolve, doesn't break down. It's like it comes out the same way it went in, like a burrito, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've enjoyed it. I've made a couple of. I've made it with a meat sauce. I've made it with Primavera, with a chicken. We've made this. I think I made chicken parm one time.
Chicken parm was with it once, several times.
Yeah.
And then he would put meatballs and stuff. Yeah. And then, they're clear noodles basically.
Oh, okay.
So what's also kind of cool, he'll do like Asian style.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible. I mean, they're made from the konjac root, and that's I guess a South Asian root vegetable.
Okay.
But it doesn't really get absorbed by the body, and it's kind of it's as tasty as the flavors you pour into it.
That's cool, man. It's like cauliflower. It is a vehicle for whatever you want to put on it. Basically, it sounds like.
Actually, yeah, and that's another thing. We like the cauliflower rice.
The cauliflower.
We like the vegetables when we put like cauliflower rice, and then we'll put some other type of vegetable in there, and we'll treat it like rice.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's all. Again, I find the secret to success. I don't want to call it dieting. Successful way to change your eating habits is to replace foods that you enjoy that aren't healthy for you with foods that you'll enjoy that are healthy for you.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, if you're replacing foods that you enjoy and that are shit for you with I don't know, I thought rice crackers was going to be my thing. I guess
we still have a bunch in the
I don't think rice crackers are going to be needed.
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, it's like we have to think about is it worth the expenditure of the carb or the food?
Well, I just thought rice crackers.
And what are you going to put on it?
Yeah. Like, I could put the popcorn topping on. I'd rather eat popcorn.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole thing too. Sometimes those rice cakes do taste popcornish.
Some.
And the whole thing is like, that's often what we think when we first start to make change. It's going to be rice cakes.
Yeah, that's right.
And yogurt.
I was ordering.
It's gonna suck, but I have to.
I was ordering stuff from the hospital. I made some good choices.
Yeah.
I found like the Mrs. Dash, the different flavors of Mrs. Dash, and I found Flavor God, great low sodium flavorings if you want to add them to your foods. I ordered that when I was still in the hospital back in May, but I also ordered fucking rice cakes back in May, and they're still sitting unopened because I found other stuff that tasted better and probably was better.
I just bought some low salt rice cakes the other night. Actually, you're right. It's a thing to munch on. But the question that goes through my head is, as I go to pick up something or think about buying something or whatever, it's like, how is this helping the overall goal? Number one,
right?
And number two, asshole, you just rode the exercise bike for a half an hour and you hate it. Do you want to blow whatever minuscule amount of calories, which is it's always less than what you think?
Oh,
right? Do you want to blow that minuscule amount of calories with this one thing, this one handful of something? Because that's how many calories that is, right? And so, all right, that's in my head as a good motivational tool. That's the thing with exercise bikes. I hate it, right? I can't stand it. I look at them like, all right, it must have been a half an hour past. No, 3 minutes. That's that level of hatred there. So I'm like, but it does. It builds up your metabolism for the day. What I'm thinking about doing now is rather than do it for the half hour or whatever at one time, which is just like shoot me dead, please. I might drop 10 minutes in the morning and then 20 minutes after work, and that way I'll get the same burn and I'll get an early start to my burn, like you're saying what breakfast does.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like what I'm trying to do now is find a way to keep the momentum that I built up for the past few months in the summer, keep it rolling in some way and adapt it to being back at work, which is, kind of difficult, right? But I'm not giving up. Like you say, you don't give up. You just keep trying, keep going. And at least I'm happy for the first 2 weeks I maintained the same weight. I didn't lose any, but I didn't gain any either. So that's a good thing,
God bless you.
Yeah.
Joe, I'm very happy for you, man.
It's very impressive.
Thanks. Now it's just a matter of keeping on going. I figure if I could do 10 pounds a month, which is 2.5 pounds a week, eventually within the next couple of years, it's a 2-year plan, really, this weight loss. It's a 2-year plan.
Okay.
So if I could keep it rolling like that within 2 years. Oh, the other thing too is I turned 50 this year. So back during the middle of the COVID, I turned 50 in May. So that was a kind of a, mind fuck. So
Rach is a year behind you.
Yeah, it's a big one, Rach.
I'm scared.
Start evaluating all your life's choices and where am I? What am I doing? But it made it real.
On my caseload, who'll say, "How old are you?" And I'll say, "Oh, I'm old." And then like, well, I know sometimes when I ask my abuela, she doesn't like it, and she says it's rude, but how old, and then I'll be like, all right, I don't take offense in the same way abuela does, so I'm 49. She's like, oh,
you're old.
Yeah.
But very sweet. I thought you were younger when I met you in the office.
That always works.
It's funny what people say when they're they think they're being friendly or nice or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll throw out a half-assed insult and they don't mean it that way sometimes.
No.
Like one guy says to me, I was like, I told him my age, and he get out of here. I said, yeah. He goes, well, he says, it's like a balloon. When you stretch it out, you don't see the wrinkles. I'm like, thanks, man. Appreciate it. That was a good one. Like, fucker.
Well,
what are you gonna do?
I was always told I looked younger than my age, and then few months before I retired. So we're going back about, oh my God.
4 years?
5 years, probably.
No?
4.5, 5 years. I was out with my niece at at Friendly's out in East Meadows, and I was offered the senior discount.
Ooh, and you're in your 40s.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even 50 at the time, and Shannon looked at me and she's like, "Uncle, how old are you?"
Oh God.
I'm like,
old enough for the senior discount. Thank you.
I'm like,
and here's the question: did you take the discount and run, man? Because why
I
not?
took the discount.
Fuck yeah!
I took the discount, and then when we got to Shannon's still going, Uncle, how old are you? And I'm like, Shannon, I'm like,
I'll tell you in the car.
I was like, yeah. So I was like,
don't make a scene.
I'm like, Shannon, I'm 48. She's, you're the same age as my daddy. I'm like, I guess I need a haircut.
Nah.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Oh yeah, we used to get it at the Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, we used to get a discount at Taco Bell. The guy was confused, I guess, but
when you grew out your beard and stuff.
Yeah, this is when I was getting ready for retirement, so I was like growing my hair long because I thought I was gonna put it in a ponytail, and I was letting the beard grow in. And at Taco Bell, I didn't even ask for it. Just saw it in the receipt, like, Rach, we got the Taco Bell senior discount.
Nice.
I don't know whether I should be really ecstatic or.
Well, we're very like white people, so.
I was like, oh man.
I had an old girlfriend when I turned 50. We were talking on and off here and there, and she's an old college girlfriend, and she's about 6 months older than me. So when I talk, I was busting her balls about being a 50-year-old woman, this and that, yada yada. Next thing you know, I get my birthday. About a week after my birthday, a card comes in the mail with an application for the AARP from her. Yeah. She was happy birthday. Application for AARP. My God, you bitch.
Welcome to the club.
I'm a card carrying member.
But I was a card carrying member
early because you're a spouse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Spouse, darling. You're a spouse.
Yeah, you're a cradle robber, huh, Eric? All right.
Yeah, figure, you go a few years younger because it makes you seem younger by being seen with a younger person.
And what it really goes down to, I think, for the women in most situations like that is that they need a guy who's a lot older than them because they finally are mature enough to be at the woman's level.
Yeah.
That could be it too, man. Hey,
it takes a long time for us to mature.
Yeah, before I met Rach, I was like, well, gee, what am I going to do in retirement? I guess I'll play EverQuest and World of Warcraft about 12 hours a day. I could really get high level doing that.
Yep. You and three other guys playing EverQuest.
Yeah, I won't need to do much. And then I met Rach, and nothing against, EverQuest and World of Warcraft, but I haven't played them since. So marriage is a much better option than playing an MMO in my personal opinion.
Definitely.
What is MMO?
Massive multiplayer online RPG.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So you're my NNO lady.
Very cool.
My brother talks about that all the time too. Him and his wife, because they got the 4 kids. 3 of them, the triplets are in 7th grade now, and then the older boy is a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
And they all got different shit going on, and they're shuffling people. At one point, last couple of weeks ago, each kid had a game in a different town. 4 different towns. Geez. 2 parents. They had to call in parental favors from other parents. You take this kid here and this kid. I mean, it's just insane. And they're like, by the end of the day, they don't know what the hell they did. They're all done. They did a lot, but it's like, what the fuck just happened? It was like a whirlwind of shit. And they're talking about it like, what the hell are we going to do when they're all gone in college? They don't remember what it was like not to have an incredibly busy day all day long.
Yeah.
It's like they don't know what the hell. It's like, what did we used to do? I don't remember. Yeah, it's different aging, man. It's a weird thing, but it's like going back to the health thing. That's now my doctor says to me, I was about 2 years ago. We're talking about weight loss and diet and this and that. And he says to me, you got to do it, man. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck, I'm 47. And he must have read my mind because he says, "You're so young." And I'm like, "I'm 47 or 48." And he's saying I'm young. I feel old. I mean, that's just, you know, I always look at old people that age. I mean, you're so young. I'm like, young? Fuck me young. And I think to myself, yeah, I mean, these days people live into their 80s. I guess I am young.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about the quality of life. Well, how do you want to be? What do you want? Do you want to be able to throw a ball and run around and chase a grandkid or a grandnephew or something like that? Or you not want to be able to? You know what I mean? I haven't run, like full out run, and I don't know even how many years. You know what I mean? I don't think I know I couldn't do it without blowing a knee out or something, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's like the little things like that you want to do again. You know, you want to feel like, you know, you're vital again. And it's like, especially when you get older, you want the vitality again because you know what you're used to have and you want it back. And that sort of motivates me too, to keep it going and keep it rolling, you know, and stories like what you guys are talking about, and, you know, this Daniel Green Wolf guy and these people you see who have an amazing life story that they did it. And that's great. I mean, that is how you help everybody else. You know, it's fantastic. So this is cool, you know, doing something like this for you guys. I like it. I'm used to having a beer with you when we're talking on a podcast. This is really different.
and thank you for joining us. And we've been talking about that, having you on for the last like month and a half.
Yeah, finally worked out.
And I'm glad the stars aligned because, you know, we know each other now outside the hobby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we also know each other from within the hobby, and we share friends that are within the hobby. And like I said, we know that, and it's not speaking for all, I know some people in the hobby that are health nuts.
Yeah.
Larry, me, if you're listening to this, you're probably one of them. But not everybody is.
Yeah.
And those that aren't,
or we're getting there.
But,
you know,
but those
in some way,
you know, if you're a little overweight, aim to lose 10 pounds. Losing 10 pounds means that you're not carrying a 10-pound bag of sugar around all day that you were for the last 5 or 10 years.
Yep.
You know, it's amazing how much energy you get just from losing a little weight.
And how much better you sleep, which gives you more energy. I mean, the one thing that kicked me into high gear, and I think a lot of larger people have this problem too, whether they know it or not, is sleep apnea, right? I know I've had it for years, and the more weight I gained, the worse I got it, to the point where I could hardly get any sleep. I was exhausted all the time, and it was detrimental to my health. It was in every way. And I finally went to the doctor and said, "Listen, the thing I had, the apnea test, which I pulled the wires out and said, the hell with this. It makes me claustrophobic." I said, "Fuck the claustrophobia. Give me the test again, and I'm going to do it this time because I need it. I'm dying here or something." You know, literally, I thought I was going to die. And he did it, and I got it. My God, what a difference it's made in everything. I mean, I sleep well. Instead of getting up, this is the weird thing about sleep apnea. Instead of in the middle of the night, because you're not into a deep sleep, I was getting up every hour to pee, right? And thought it was normal. And I said to the doctor, you know, what am I going to wet the bed? Well, you know, I got to get up every, he goes, "You won't anymore." I said, "How is that possible? I don't understand it." Sure as shit, I'm sleeping 8 hours, not getting up to go to the bathroom. It's amazing. And it's not like, you know, I didn't wet the bed. You know what I mean? So it's just, when you're in a deeper state of sleep, I guess something changes in your body. And when you're sleeping for 7 or 8 hours, you're getting
you get to restore your body.
Yes, you're getting refreshed and you feel energetic and your mood changes. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, like girls and guys, if you're not getting enough sleep, at least if you're like me, you're getting into a funk. You're getting depressed. You're getting agitated easily. You're getting more annoyed more quickly. Your mood is all fucked up and you may not even know it, right? But when you get that thing fixed, right, your mood gets better. You have more energy. Your outlook on life changes, and then once you've made that little change, which is not hard to do because the change involves going to bed, right? It's not that hard to do, but once you made that little change, what you have now is momentum. Once you get your momentum going, then you fucking roll with it, you know? Then you start changing, like you're saying, a little thing. Substitute a meal, substitute the miracle noodles and the skinny pasta, you know what I mean, for something. And then you do a little change at a time. Next thing you know, you lose 5 pounds, you lose 10 pounds. Holy shit, I could do this. Let me get a bike. Let me walk a little bit, you know, stuff like that. And then the next thing you know, you lost 30 pounds, right? Then you want to keep going, and your life is changing.
And
but
the actual loss, it motivates you.
Yeah.
You're talking about sleep. I mean, before COVID, I used to nap 4 or 5 days out of the week on the weekdays. I mean, I was just, it was just part of my routine, and that was going on. I was working, and when I was working midnights, I was working days and getting out at, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd come home and I'd nap until Rich got home. And it was my sleep pattern, because I was never getting a good night's sleep. Now that I've dropped about probably a good 30 pounds off my weight, I'm sleeping better.
Yeah.
And I don't need these naps.
Yeah.
My clock might wind down around like 4 o'clock. I might want to close my eyes. I might just sit back in the chair and relax to some music, but I'm not falling asleep.
Yeah.
And then I'm good. About half an hour later, my energy's come back because I'm getting sleep at night. I'm getting 6.5, 7.5 hours of sleep. No, I'm not getting the 8, but I don't think I ever got 8 on a steady basis. But I'm getting a decent amount of sleep, and I'm happy.
And occasionally we get a little more.
Occasionally we sleep in. But now here's the other thing too, because Rach has been working from home, I'm getting up and I'm making breakfast in the mornings. Yep. I get up with Rach.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't stay
We're giving
in bed.
You some structure over here.
Yeah, and that structure is helpful, not just laying in bed until you decide to roll out and then roll back into bed 4 hours later for a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Getting structure, and it helps.
Yeah. And you were able to sleep. I know you were having problems for a while. I had to sleep in the chair. The bed, everything is good now, right?
Oh yeah, and that was because when I was retaining that 60 odd pounds of water, a lot of it was in the lungs.
Yeah, so it felt drowny when you would lay down.
Okay.
Right, so I couldn't lay on my back or on my side. You literally felt like you'd have this sensation like you couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
and I could breathe, but you'd have this sensation. I guess it's like waterboarding or whatever.
Yeah, it took more effort to breathe.
Right. That's why I was sleeping in the recliner for the longest time. But as my surgeon had said when I went in for my last stent, my 4th stent, and he was just like, you timed everything well. He goes, even though you were probably home with this water retention, with heart failure, congestive heart failure going on for 6 weeks, he goes, the thing is, your timing was perfect because when you got to the hospital, we had just opened up a COVID-free wing.
Wow.
If you gotten here earlier, you would have been in a wing with COVID patients.
Not good for you. Yeah.
No.
That state. Yeah, Jesus.
So your timing was perfect. I was like, okay. So there we go.
Yeah. Like you said, man, you got a reason to be here, a purpose. You are helping people.
And part of that purpose is what we did here tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Fun. I do look forward, I got to say. Might be a year, it might be longer, but God damn it, we're going to go back to complete strategist. We're going to have a good time in New York again.
Well, let's see what happens come spring.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking more like, we're probably not going to be able to be anywhere as a group until spring,
Yeah, I mean,
I figure spring of 2022, maybe. That might be when it's all done. I know.
Game Hall Con is canceled for next month.
Yeah.
CobraCon is canceled for February. Gary Con right now is on, but who knows? North Texas will be on, like they were on last year, but they had like 80 people show because they had to do a small con.
Was that June, right? Is that a June con?
June. I'm hoping that by June,
Yeah.
Formality has returned because that's the con that I'm really looking forward to going to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
Yeah, I'm not going to chance stuff like that for a long time.
Oh,
like you say, it's not worth it.
I'm going to want my vaccine. I'm going to you got a valid vaccine? Maybe I'll come in and take 2 different vaccines. I'll double up on that.
Yeah.
We had to go and get our flu shots.
Yes, we have to get our flu shots, Rich. Yes.
Yeah. It might be
Maybe
worth
we'll take
driving,
a ride
honestly.
after yoga tomorrow.
Maybe we'll take a walk after yoga tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
It is. We have one down here that'll do it. Okay.
Yeah. And the walk is important. Get out the
Or
house
at the
now.
lunch
It's good
break.
weather.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Joe. Well, thank you so much, man.
Hey,
we're hitting the 1 hour mark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Show is like,
It passes so quickly.
It's like sitting at the bar.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. It's God, I can't wait till again. We will have. I know you said 1 beer, right? We'll do 1 beer together. That'll be good.
Well, if it's a light beer, I could probably do 2, but I'm only doing 1 because these are micro brews, and I'm 5.5% alcohol. I'm like, it's got to be a lot of carbs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm only gonna do 1.
No.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for having me on. It's been fun.
Thank you
to talk and catch up.
Coming on.
Yes, Joe. Thank you, man. This was good and special. I'm glad you're officially the first guest on Gamer's House. So yeah,
go Joe.
Oh, cool. Nice,
Yes.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll probably have Laramie. Laramie will be the next one. He's a nurse out in Iowa.
Yep.
And he likes to bring cider to Gamehole for me, so it'll be nice to sit down and talk with Laramie.
And I'm looking forward to what you guys do with the YouTube channel. It should be really good, I think. My bet, and I'm going to put it out there right now, is that you will get 1,000 members by Christmas. You will have that 1,000, that magic, because when Eric hits 1,000 members, subscribers, right, you get some bonuses. You can do live streams and make money and all that kind of stuff that way, right?
Yeah.
My bet is you got to build the audience. You're gonna do it.
Listen, if Joe's words to God's ears, we shall see. I'd like to be at half that number by the end of the year. I would consider that a raging success. So if you listen to the podcast, I'm going to recommend youtube.com/Eric Tenkar. Subscribe to the channel. Bonus content. This will be up on the podcast, obviously, but there'll be bonus content for the podcast listeners over on YouTube. So don't miss out.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Joe.
Thank
Folks, we're in a pandemic. Common sense rules the day, right? We're not medical professionals, but use your common sense. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice. And God willing, we shall talk with you all mañana. Laters.